Hello and welcome to this new episode on C Sharp Corner and C Sharp TV. My name is Mahesh Chan. I'm founder of C Sharp Corner. Today, I'm excited to start this new show, Tokenized with Mahesh. And where this tokenized came from, I don't know if you guys following, if any of you are following this trends, what's going on in tech, where it's going. Tokenization is becoming mainstream now. Everywhere I go, I see there's a lot of tokenization happening in this world. So welcome to the show. This show is all about tokenization, tokenizing asset, tokenizing different tax and all. We will talk about that. Welcome Bhaskar, Sarthak, welcome Rohit, welcome Rizwan. Long time no see. Welcome to the show. So yeah, as you see here, we are all talking about tokenization, and thing is, this is a talk show, means you ask questions. I will take your questions live. We will talk about the questions. I will talk about some things in my agenda. But again, end of the day, ask questions, get involved. Kautil Niti is here. Kautil Niti, interesting. Name in Hindi, very good. Very good, Kautil. So let's everybody join. Let give people 1 more to 2 more minutes. Then we can join, then we can start. Looks like it's going to be exciting to see this show. And the goal really is bring some awareness around tokenization, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, digital assets, Web3 space, and this is all focusing on that. So, in this purpose of this show is it's not a one episode; it's a multi-episode series. In this, we will cover almost. This is some of my pre-agenda. Means today, what I will cover is, before I talk about today's agenda, I want to just give you a little idea, broad idea, that this will cover not just what tokenization is, it will also cover how to launch your own token. How do you work on a token? How do you decide tokenomics? And if what are different companies that are using tokens? But before that, I go there. Let me update on a couple of amazing things happened this morning in a bad way. I'm sure you saw a lot of websites were down, including ChatGPT, which was down today. ChatGPT, C Sharp Corner, a lot of websites were down because of Cloudflare. Rohit, welcome to the show. So Cloudflare was down. It has some issues. A lot of website went down. If you are in crypto space, you probably see that last week or so, the crypto is almost like crashing hard, right? Bitcoin is down, I don't know, 90,000 to 92,000, somewhere there. So those are two major events happened in last, today and last couple of days. Now, you may be wondering why they're happening. You can also ask questions about this as well. Just post any questions you have. Pravesh, welcome to the show. So today we are talking about tokenization, and this is our first show. This is going to be multi-part series. Probably I have 10 topics already in mind, but probably going to have 20 or more. So we'll pick a different topic of tokenization each week. So what's today's agenda? Today's agenda is what is tokenization and why tokenization is important right now. That's what we will discuss. There are what are different types of tokenizations and tokens, to be honest. And again, why tokenization is exploding now, what's going on in the world. Then we will also cover how tokenization creates value. We'll talk about some of the real world use cases of tokenization. We will also talk about why different tokens, when they launch and fail. And then I'll share one of the case studies, how different tokenomics are created and token economies are created. And in the end, we will be just ask more questions, go through your question answers. So that's what we'll cover in today's episode. And I hope you are excited about as I am, because I've been working on this tokenizing different things for past several years. And I wanted to start this show for a long time. It just never had time. But you know what? Last week we decided, we're just going to do it. And Tuesday sounds a good day because Tuesday I'm usually home. I'm not traveling, don't have too many meetings outside of my local area. So every Tuesday, same time, we are going to talk about tokenization. I want you to get ready, have your tea, coffee ready, sit, relax. If you are listening from the car, enjoy. Don't drive and text. Don't ask question if you're driving. But if you are listening and you have questions, I want definitely ask questions. Get involved. Share on your social media, please. If you're watching us this on Twitter, YouTube, or LinkedIn, please share. Oh, it reminds me that I should also actually share this on my LinkedIn so then more people can watch it. So I'm going to do that right now. Let me do it. Hmm. Don't even have a share option. Interesting. All right. Okay. I would like it at least, and then say I'm watching this. Okay. Let's get to work. So, what is tokenization? And if you have different ideas and concept and theories or your own definition, please do share in comments, right? One other thing I want to do is we are going to pick top 3 users from the comments on YouTube, and they will be rewarded. We are going to announce some rewards in the end of the show. And if you are one of the top user who has post most comments and you are, I think if you look at the YouTube now, YouTube has these, it can show top users, right? It can show number one, number two, number three. Rohit Tomar is number one right now. Sarthak is number two. Rohit Gupta is number three. So you can see that top, what do you call them? Let's see. I see this chat. What is this called? They call them top chat right now. To call them top chat. If you see there, we are going to reward 3 people from this show, and that will be every week. So every week 3 people will learn who are most active on YouTube. Okay, so what is tokenization? When you think of tokenization, usually you think about a token, a cryptocurrency comes in mind, right? But in reality, tokenization is turning something digital value into some kind of digital that lives on blockchain. So token automatically connects with blockchain. Without blockchain, there's no token, right? So in other words, if you build anything, something, and that has a value, any kind of value, stored in a blockchain, the token becomes the proof of ownership, proof of access, rewards participation. So two token can be blockchain decides, blockchain is the proof that who owns that token, that digital asset, right? Digital assets can be a form of whatever it is. You can create, for example, any digital asset. For example, you can create certification, you can create a just a number, you can create it just like what blockchain Bitcoin has, right? So all these are tokens. We can call them coins and tokens, that's different story. But when I'm saying tokenization, it means either coin or token is the same thing right now in this topic when we're discussing this. We will have a different episode where talk about token versus coins. I think I already have a show on that. That's simple word is coin is a coin is a native cryptocurrency of a blockchain, and the token is the one that lives on another blockchain. It doesn't have its own native blockchain. It's kind of, we will talk more on that in my next episode, maybe one of the episodes. So hopefully you understand tokenization. That token is a turning the value, some kind of value, into a digital asset that lives on a blockchain. If you have questions, just ask questions. Okay, ask questions, post your comment, share what you have. So why is tokenization become important right now? And you have to think like, why tokenization now? Why do we need a tokenization, right? Um, the reason was, and I'll take some examples here. Um, if you think about ownership, anything ownership, like you want to buy a house, you want to own a house, you want to own a car, you want to own a stocks in a company share, or you want to own even anything you own, the process of defining that ownership is very complicated and hard. Let's take an example. Let's say you want to buy a house. So you want to buy a house, the paperwork include from when you're buying a house from a builder on your name, There's so much paperwork involved in between, and there's a lot of money has to be invested in that. Why? Because there's a middleman. There's always a middleman. There are multiple parties. They decide and they make sure that ownership is being transferred from this person, the builder, to you. That's in one example, right? Second example is, let's take an example of a startup. Let's say you are building a new company, and you want building a new company, and you want, let's say, hire some people. And when you are a startup, you don't have money. So what you do is you work with people who are interested in equity. So you want to give your initial employees equity in the company, right? So to do that part, there's so much legal paperwork involved there. Now let's go a little bit far. Let's say now your company is getting more investment, getting more people involved. Even you go, eventually some companies go public, IPO, so you getting stocks and those, ex- you know, stock options. The whole thing of that you own that part of the company is a lot of it's a lot of paperwork. In other words, it's very slow, it's expensive, and there's always middlemen involved. Sometimes it's banks, sometimes lawyers, sometimes it's some accountant, sometimes it's a notary. So there is so much legal paperwork involved. This all legal paperwork make things very costly. And because of that, because of this cost and time it takes, the tokenization is growing, because tokenization makes this whole thing simple, less costly, and without a middleman. You can literally build something in code and smart contracts, and that ownership can be assigned from one person to other person by any middleman or third party. Blockchain becomes the authority here that stores these contracts. So that's why tokenization is very important, because the current generation is saying that whatever systems we have, they are old, they're obsolete, they don't work, they take too much time, there are too many middlemen making money from everybody. So that is why it's so tokens. And we people think like whatever they think about cryptocurrencies, but this is a new technology, this is the new way. The new systems are being developed now, they're being built now, and real serious businesses are exploring tokenization and different strategies. So it also gives transparency, right? So other thing with tokens is anything that lives on blockchain, all every token lives on blockchain. So that gives transparency, which traditional systems cannot give, right? So when you sign a contract, even look at the contract you sign. When you get a credit card and this bank gives you a Visa or MasterCard, or a bank will give you this big, long contract to sign, which nobody reads. And they don't say anything. You don't know what's written in that. So there's no transparency, even though they say there is. There's no. So point I'm making is that this is what blockchain solves, and anything, all these things is stored on blockchain, solves this problem which we are going through for a long time. So tokenization is not something we are trying to build another cryptocurrency, is make money and get rich. This is more than that, right? This is more technology to solving some of the real world problems. So what are different ways of different types of tokens, right? So when you think of a token, it's a digital asset. We can break down into multiple categories: payment tokens, utility tokens, reward tokens, asset tokens, governance tokens. And you can break them down and start, and it makes sense the way you read them automatically. Payment token, obviously, it's used for payments, means we can treat them as money. Um, you can pay somebody, right? Utility tokens they are used for certain utility payment. For example, let's take about Bitcoin can be used as a payment form of payment, right? Utility tokens are something that you pay this token to consume some kind of service, infrastructure service. Ethereum, for example, Ethereum is an example of a utility token. What does that mean? On Ethereum blockchain, when you deploy a smart contract, you pay ETH as a gas fees. So that's a utility token, right? Because the Ethereum is being used as a gas. There's reward tokens. So there are tokens that can be used as rewards, consumer rewards, user rewards, however it is like. So for example, you have a credit card. The credit card give you these reward points for using credit card. Every time you use a credit card, you get one whatever points. So that, however, those points are all controlled by the bank who's issuing the card. For example, I have a card, it's an airline card, right? It's an airline card. I have American Express card. So every time I use my card, I get these points. I can now go and change these points, turn into something else. So those are points. But now these kind of points, these systems can live on a blockchain. Why it's important? Because I remember when 100 reward points used to be almost like a dollar, but now they are like 60 cents. Then they keep changing, right? The benefits of this changes all the time. Plus, I cannot use my credit card points outside of that credit card ecosystem. But in future, what's happening is these reward tokens are being created. They can be used on a one economy, one platform, as well as they can be traded outside of the economy. They can also be converted into other cryptocurrency tokens and coins, right? We can also do that. And then there are fourth kind is asset tokens. Asset tokens are tied to physical assets usually, right? There is gold. There's something called RWA, real world asset, right? Real world asset tokens. What are they? Real world asset tokens represent some kind of physical stuff or real world, some kind of real world, right? For example, you can have a building. Let's say you have a building, and that building is priced at say $100,000. You can release 100,000 tokens where each token represents $1, and one by 100,000 is part of that building. So if somebody wants to buy 10% of that building, all they have to do is buy 10,000 tokens. Now you just replaced all middlemen. Otherwise, to write the agreement, the contract, the paperwork with the notaries and lawyers, it's just a lot of work. So when you think of why these are real world assets and stable coins and all these, why they're growing, it's because it's a new technology that'll solve some of the problems that used to take a lot of time and money. Now we can use this blockchain and tokenization that can solve a lot of our problems. I hope this makes sense to everybody who's watching. Feel free to, looks like more people join. Welcome to the show. My name is Mahesh Chand. I'm founder of C Sharp Corner. This show is brought to you by Sharp Economy. We will talk about Sharp Economy in a second. And today we are talking about tokenization. What is tokenization? This is a talk show where we talk, we ask questions, we answer questions, chime in, post your comment, post your feedback, what you feel like, keep it coming. In the end of the show, we will also award 3 top winners. So right now, Rohit is number 1, who's posting a lot of comments, asking questions. Pravesh is number 1 right now. Pravesh is number 1, Rohit Tomar is number 2, Sarthak is number 3. Looks like a lot of activities going on here. Very cool. So then last types of tokens are governance tokens. Governance tokens are, as you can see from the name, they give you power and authority in an ecosystem. In a company, for example, when you think of a company, most large corporations, publicly traded companies have a board. Board has, every board member has a seat and they vote on certain things. So this whole control and power and voting and all that can be implemented using blockchain. And the token that's used for that is called governance token. And there's another term called DAO, decentralized autonomous organizations. So we can build a DAO, which is a board where everybody who's a member of DAO can have a vote, who can vote on certain governance of that economy. So we will break down into more details in coming time. But that gives you the time that there are different kind of tokens. So I kind of covered this little bit say why tokenization is exploding right now. And the the reason tokenization is exploding, as I said, is that there's a lot of institutions, means large corporations, they're adapting it. Now they finally trust that, okay, they're trusting tokens. They're saying that, you know what, this is a real blockchain, is a real amazing technology. It can solve a lot of problems. It can take away a lot of headache. It can remove a lot of middlemen. So now a lot of institutions are adapting it. And they're realizing that the work they can do on blockchain is much, it's a faster, secure, and transparent. There are today developers has more tools because there has been so many for last 10 years or so. We have built a lot of infrastructure for this tokenization, and that's why there's more trust, there's more companies are using it. um, and this new generation, right, the new generation is more focused and prefer digital ownership rather than going through the typical traditional paperwork, going and doing all the work. In other words, it's saving a lot of time. Time means money, headache, right? Saving a lot of headache, saving a lot of time. And tokenization is exploding because there's a lot of companies right now. If you look at bigger, there are some of the largest funds. There are some of the largest these banks. There are these real estate companies. They are all looking for tokenization. And I see every day there's Visa, there's MasterCard, there's PayPal, there's this builder, real estate billionaire, that they're all, almost everybody is paying attention to the tokens and how they're thinking how they can use this new technology. So that's so one more, let's cover a little bit more is what are different benefits of tokenization. You can see you can do instant transfer. So money transfer is one of the big problem, right? When you transfer money, you sometimes can do online. You have to go to bank internationally. Like right now, I'm in US for transfer international money. I have to go to bank. I have to pay them $50, and then person who receives has to pay them $25, and it takes 2 3 days sometimes, and there's sometimes there are mistakes and money doesn't get. In crypto world and tokenization, this is instant transfer. So when I'm transferring money right now, I'm transferring from, say, me to you. There's a bank involved. Bank is the middleman here, but in the world of the tokenization, there's no middleman, there's no bank. I have an account, I have tokens, you have account, you have tokens. I transfer you, you get them right away, but very small fees, sometimes almost negligible. It's not even a, and there's no time wasted. I can do this from my phone. That's the benefit of tokenization. The lower cost, obviously cost is lower, as I mentioned, that time, it saves a lot of time. It's borderless. Borderless means I can send to anybody in anywhere in the world, anytime, right? This tokenization lives on blockchain. It's 24/7. It's live. There's no third party. There's no customer support. There's nobody. You don't have to go anywhere in person. That's what it is. It's transparent transactions, means all transactions live transparent on blockchain. Anybody can go and see, oh, when is this transfer happens, what account it came from, this address to this address. It's transparent, and it's a programmable, means it's all smart contracts. You can even automate a lot of these things. You can automate some of the actions. For example, say on C Sharp Corner, if somebody publish an article or somebody share their code or somebody speak, we want to reward them some Sharp tokens. This is all programmed, and automatically we can give the tokens, right? This can be programmed easy. Um, and also, it's a building a new generation of economies, new way we are building these economies that includes communities, right? So let's take some of the real life use cases of tokenization. So everybody, welcome to the show. I see a lot of new people join. Um, Rohit, Pravesh, and Sarthak are still leading the the top users. Very cool. A lot of good comments coming. Everybody who just joined, welcome to the show. This show is on tokenization. Every week, same time, Tuesday, 11 o'clock EST. And every week I will bring different topics about tokenization. Today, just introduction to tokenization, but then we'll talk about how to build your own token, why, how to launch your token, how to pick your blockchain, what is different blockchains, what is the difference. We're also going to talk about how to architect your tokenomics, how to, it just goes all in depth. So if you continue to watch the show, by the time we're done, every week you will learn something amazing and you end up becoming a token expert. So in other words, let's say in future some company comes to you or somebody comes to you, say, hey, we want to launch our token. You will get all those knowledge through this show. All right. So yeah, there. Let's look at some of the real life use cases. The loyalty system. You can tokenize loyalty systems. You can tokenize healthcare rewards. You can tokenize education incentives, developer communities, real estate ownership, fan engagements, anything that can be gamified, you can tokenize it, money transfers, a lot of things can be done from tokenization. Today, let me share this one case study with you. It's called Sharp Economy. So Sharp Economy is one of the tokenization platforms. If you go visit sharpeconomy.org, you can learn more about it. So they have something, Sharp Economy has something called Sharp Token. It powers communities. In other words, any community that wants to reward its users for their contributions can use this token called Sharp Token. Um, Take an example. A lot of people who are joining here, if you're a part of, say, C Sharp Corner, or you're part of, let's say, in future, any community, and you do something in that community, you don't earn anything. Maybe they give you a reward point system, give you a reputation. Oh, congratulations. You are now a top chief architect. You are now a, I don't know, goat or deer, whatever it is. They give you these digital badges and you feel good about it. But the future is not that. Future is more than that. Future is that if I'm contributing to this economy, if I'm building this company, if I'm helping this community to grow, can I have some ownership of that community? Can I own a little piece of it? And the answer is yes. And how do you do that? You do that by tokenizing the community. Okay, that's how you do it. So that's what we're doing with C Sharp Corner is we are tokenizing C Sharp Corner. And it's taking time to build it. But the idea is if you are a C Sharp Corner member, if you are a C Sharp Corner member and you are there speaking, you are contributing, writing books, articles, videos, for every action you are going to earn these Sharp tokens. These Sharp tokens then you can spend on your growth. Growth means whatever you need. You need training, certifications, goodies, all that. Or in coming time, when legal authorities allow, you can go and trade these tokens and sell them and cash out. You can also do that. Or you can stake them to earn more rewards. Or you can stake them even further and get benefit from the community. We even have these features in pipeline where you can stake these tokens and you can vote in the governance of C Sharp Corner community. So that's kind of the whole idea. So it's a gamification, right? Gamifying and giving you power, giving access to these features. That's the whole idea. And the Sharp Economy is a platform that will give you, or any community, let's say any community wants to gamify and tokenize, they can use Sharp Economy platform and tools. And again, check out sharpeconomy.org. And today, that's what we are giving away today. Top 3 users will win token prizes end of the show. So how do you win those prizes? You go to YouTube, you follow us, and you post comment. And top 3 users who are very active, call them top fans, will win these prizes. So what Sharp Economy is that we have built this something called, you can earn these tokens through learning, even you're learning. So you go to C Sharp Corner, there's an app called Sharp Rewards. So if you go to App Store, Google or Apple App Store, and search Sharp Rewards, Sharp Rewards app let you earn tokens by doing activities like walking, spin the wheel, taking quizzes, challenges, and even participating in some of these activities. The idea of the Sharp Rewards app is for you to, rather than wasting time on social media nonsense, if you go in the app, you're actually learning something every day. Back in the day, I don't know if I remember there used to be a book called GK Today. GK Today was it's your book in India, and I used to buy that to read and learn because it has all general knowledge on that. So this is the way we are building this Sharp Rewards app. Is something new you will learn every day, and you can earn these rewards, and then eventually you can spend these tokens on something what you like. You can buy stuff, and we're going to partner with different companies. You can use this token somewhere else as well. So this is kind of example you see that tokenization is helping in building these new economies. So if you want to think like, what can I do with it? You have I don't know, you have a friend who runs a shop, or you know somebody who wants to gamify or implement reward system or implement payment systems. There are different use cases can be applied. And then idea with this whole show is to learn more about these technologies. So now another few more slides, but the last thing I want, which is very important, is that you should also learn why most token projects fail. There's so many token projects launch, right? And why do they fail? What is the reason? And one of the biggest reason is that when these tokens are launched, they are created, they don't have real utility. Even though they have utility, they don't get adoption. There is no community. There's no users are using it. So when you launch a token, that's great. But if nobody's using it, nobody's buying it, it fails. And there's no long-term release schedule. Sometimes, no use cases. And the end of the day, tokenization only works only when you have some real value and real use cases. So those are some of the things you have to keep in mind. Even you are investing in any cryptocurrencies, don't take this as an investment advice, by the way. It's very risky to invest in crypto. You may lose all of your money. But if you do say, you know what, no, I'm going to invest in crypto anyway. So what do you look for? I'll have another episode just on that, but and I'll quickly cover that. Is when you look for is that you look for a real project that you feel like it has real utility, solving some of the real world problems. There's a lot of people behind it. There's going to be adoption. You have to look at the team who's building it. Make sure they're real people. Sometimes there's so much going on. That a lot of people are launching these memes tokens and all these tokens, and to making money in short term, you may end up losing all money. So anyway, this is not a financial advice, but this is a kind of you have to think through. So then last slide before I take your question is, so what is the key takeaways from this first episode is number one, tokenization is not just a crypto, it's actually the way to solve some of the real world problems, right? Taking the middleman out, that is the key. Today, if you look at who makes most money in the world, these are middlemen. Middlemen makes most money. Look at the banks. Take an example of a bank. Bank don't have their own money. Bank never have their own money. They take people's money. They take people's money. They give same money to other people. They take your money. They don't give you anything, maybe small percentage. Same money they can give it to somebody else and make you a lot more from it. They keep your money. If you are late on payments, they charge you extra for that. So this is middleman. Bank is a middleman. Insurance companies are middlemen. A lot of healthcare systems are not the doctors, but I'm talking about healthcare companies that involve so many middlemen, the payment and all that. And payment is one of the biggest problems, okay? So everywhere there is a middleman. Let's think about farmer, right? You are a farmer in a village in India. You grow potatoes and wheats and rice. Because you don't have resources, you don't have connections, you don't have money, you don't go sell direct to the people who want it, plus you have to store it. What happens, these middlemen buys your crops. Sometimes government does too now for the farmers to help, but most of the time the middleman used to buy, and they can sell it at a higher price. So middle makes money from everybody. The purpose of tokenization is to get rid of the middleman. And that is the biggest utility, biggest thing about tokenization, is removing the world of middlemen who take advantage from everybody. So When you think of this tokenization, it's not just a crypto trend, it's the way you build new systems. It's a new economic model. And you should also think about you want to launch a token or work in a token, think about utility, think about community, and think about long-term growth. So that is that for today's episode. Tomorrow, I mean next week, same time, we are going to have bring another amazing episode on the same topic. But let's take some questions. We'll take few questions only. Some people from um, all right, stay sharp. And we're also going to announce winners too, by the way. So let's take few questions and then we'll announce winners. So will tokenized digital asset give creators more ownership, or will platforms still control the value? So ownership of what? Like when you launch a token, right? When you think of a launch a token, when a when token is launched, let's say take an example of Sharp token. The ownership of a whole Sharp token is in its token itself, right? So whoever owns tokens now owns the tokens, means token has a value. Will platform control the value? Platform is different thing, right? So the most tokens have a foundation, and foundation controls the token, not the platform. Platform is just a way to reward people from foundation to users. They're just rewarding the tokens, right? um, so that's how it works, that of course creators will have more ownership, right? Because more you earn, more you ownership. What is ownership? Ownership is the value, right? So if you earn more tokens, your value is more. So yeah, in other words, most of these tokens are the value. More tokens you earn, more value you earn, more ownership you have, right? So that's kind of what it is, the question. All right, let's take another question here. Is tokenized suitable for every business model, or are there specific industries? That's a great question. Yeah, tokenization is not for everything. Okay, it's not for everybody. If I have a shop, I run a simple shop, and gamification is good unless I have a lot of users. Or I don't know, I grow, no, it's not for every business. Tokenization is good for business where number one, you have a middleman, you pay a lot of fees, number one. Number two, you want to reward people contribute for their contributions, right? That's the communities. For example, communities are perfect use case of tokenization because they want to reward for everybody who's contributing. Or let's say you are a big builder, you have a lot of these buildings, they are worth billions of dollars, but you cannot sell them in pieces. You just need to buy a big builder who can buy. Let's say you have $100 million building in New York City. Now you want to sell that building. Unless you find the big buyer, there's no way you can sell it. But let's say if you tokenize the whole building of 100 million, and each token is worth $1, now thousands of people can go and buy a piece of that building. So now you are basically democratizing the investment in your asset. So you have to look at these kind of models. It's not for every business. Let's say there is a big Walmart kind of company. They have a point system, but they want to reward and make sure they want to tokenize so that they can use the same tokens on other places. They can tokenize it easily, right? It's less work for them, less. They don't have to maintain their own systems because these rewards will live on blockchains that are publicly running by these nodes, right? So there is no. So yeah, you have to look at the real use case and what makes sense. But great question. Or I will take one more question. Sarthak says, can tokenization improve trust between business and customers, or will it be seen as another technical layer they do not understand? So the business and customers, so yeah, that's the whole thing about tokenization is the trust, because when you launch a token, Your white paper explains everything in detail that, oh, if you do that, this will happen. And that is written as a smart contract. So, in case of say sharp economy, when we end up building the entire ecosystem, in a sharp economy, we say that, oh, every activity users do, they will earn this many tokens, right? Now that earning goes on blockchain and everybody can see that. So clearly it improves that trust. But it's also a security, it's also transparency. So let's say building owner says, I want to launch a token. So they are tokenizing real world asset, which is a building. Number one, it will say, oh, my building is worth $1 million. I have 1 million tokens. Each token is worth $1. So that everything is published publicly. There's transparency and there's trust. When there's transparency, trust comes automatically, right? And then everything lives on a blockchain. So when you create a token, that day they'll create 1 million tokens created on this date, and it's fixed, right? Then this token, how many tokens going to who, and then this is how it works. So when people can see that this is all created, this is all lives on blockchain, because blockchain you cannot go and change ever. Blockchain is a read-only ledger. That means once it's written, it's this written. It's you have to trust it, right? There's nothing you can do about it. So yes, it does create trust between customers and businesses for sure. And the technical layer is all business, how you build it and develop it, because as long as users don't have to go through complicate things like create a wallet and all that, so things are getting much simpler these days. Now in coming time, all you have to do is use your email or your username. You don't have to create the wallet, you don't have to store the keys. Their systems are being developed already, so that will solve the complexity of technical layer. Yeah. So with that said, I think that covers our questions. I hope you learned something. If you do learn, please do share that. Yes, you learned something exciting from this, something new from this show. If you have some other topics you want me to cover related to this topic, please do share in the comments. We will review the comments and we will take from there. Now let's look at our top 3 users. All right, top 3 fans. Looks like number 1 is Deepak. Wait, how can Deepak Tevati became number 1 recently? He was not very active. Can we play with the YouTube system? Okay, top fans is Deepak Tevatia, Pravesh Dubey, Rohit Tomar. Okay, I think we can award few more people from this show. Let's award Sarthak some tokens. And whoever else, we will review all the comments. And what we will do is we will find 3 winners and we will send them notifications. I believe we know, and we can also post in this video's comments. So please do come watch this. When we announce the winners, we'll also post this on social media. You are going to win tokens, sharp tokens. So thank you everyone for watching. This is exciting, and I'm looking forward to see you again next week, 11 a.m. EST. Thank you.